right, so tonight's demonstration, let's get to this. All right, this one's going to take some time, so hang with me tonight. There's some details in this, but I think you're going to find it fun. We're going to be doing a red banana palm. Okay, the banana palms are beautiful, big, broad leaves, and they are normally just all green, but there is a red variety which I love because it's got this deep burgundy color in the leaves and in the trunk. So I'm going to share that with you, and then that's going to be something that's going to be incorporated into this design as well. So if you pay attention to that, then you get kind of a sneak preview of what that lesson is going to be like. So let's go ahead and get overhead, and I will get started. Here we go. All right. So this is the red banana palm. Okay. It's got broad leaves. It's got a short, round, squatty trunk, and the leaves will, in time, as they get older, they get splits in them. So I'm going to show you how to create some of those splits, and I'm also going to show you really close up, if you can see, I added some of those splits in after the fact. So if you get going too fast and you realize, oh darn, I wanted a split in that leaf, you can always come back and add them in. Okay. All right. So first I'm going to show you the sketch that I did. This one I feel like it needs a sketch because you need to know where you're going to put all these leaves. And I wanted to share with you several different views of the leaves so that you could see how to get some of these movements in here. So I'm going to make these darker now so you can see them. So there's leaves in the back, and new growth, like in a palm tree, stands straight up, big and broad like that. See that? And then we've got some leaves that are tipping over, and the closer they get to the ground, the more they get split. Okay, so these ones hanging over here are going to have some of those splits in them. The wind whips them around. All right, so we've got a leaf in between, a leaf in between there. And then this one is, when they hang, they kind of flop, the sides flop over from the stem. So then you see a side view here, and this has got some splits in it. All right, and then the back is hanging down, and that's got some splits in it. See there? All right, and this one is falling over. So to get that look of it falling over, the stem runs down the center, and it flops over on either side, so it's tipping towards the back. Okay, so that's another view. And we have one kind of peeking out here. And then this one is starting to fall over to the left side. See there? And then here we have one that's in front. So you're seeing just the front of it without the stem as it's coming forward. So lots of different opportunities to get these angles. See there? And then that stem comes back and down in like this. All right. And then here we have one that's in the back, and it's going to fall over this way. And you're seeing the top of it here, whoops, as it's coming over. So this is the top, and then that's the back side falling over that way. Then we have our trunk where the older stems have been chopped off. They kind of hack them right at the trunk. And then you've got all these leaf stems coming out of the top. Okay, so there we have our sketch. All right, and I'm going to show you just a single leaf here just to get you started so you can see how that works, and then it's a similar stroke as you go. Okay, so here we have the colors all out and ready to go. And I'm just going to go around the horn here and show you what I have. So I've got some real brown, kind of mostly for the ground, a little bit in the trunk. I have some daffodil yellow, citrus green, classic green, berry wine, and some floating medium here. Okay, so no white in this unless you have to come in and add some highlights, which is fine too. Okay, so I'm going to start out with a 16 flat. I'm going to get that damp and lay it on my paper towel, and I'm going to come and load all citrus green to start. Okay, let's turn this way. citrus green to start on both sides. Okay, and then I'm going to come right over here and get some classic green on 1/2. So that's a blend with the citrus. So you get a little bit lighter look to that classic green to start with. Okay. All right, now I'm not going to do the trunk first because that really is a good thing to do last, especially if you've got the leaves that are bending over. Okay, so you want to start from the back and work your way forward. And we don't add the burgundy color until the very end, once we get all our leaves in place. All right, so what I'm going to do first is we're going to come and do the back side of this one. All right, and notice there's a split right here, and we're going to come from underneath the leaf, okay, and first get our shape. All right, so that's our shape. Now I'm going to come down a little bit closer here. And now what I want to do is from that split in the center, or the stem I should say, right here, I'm going to pick up just a little bit of the daffodil yellow on my chisel of my brush, and we're going to come out from that stem, out and down to the tip. All right, then I'm going to go pick up some stronger classic green on this side, and we're going to do the same thing here, here, and down to the tip. All right, so you get a little bit of a light side, you get a little bit of a dark side, and the only tough part here is right up underneath where it comes out. So I get a little bit of that citrus green back in there for the streaks. So you want those streaks, the little lines, and that's why you pick up colors on the chisel edge of the brush, okay? Now I'm going to come from there, I'm going to wipe off my brush and come back to my original colors and get that citrus or classic green, and we're going to come right from here and stand up, and then here and stand up. Okay, so you're getting that tip where the leaf is tipping, and then sometimes you kind of mess up, but we can fix that with some shading later. All right, so just getting the look of that leaf bending over is what we're doing, and then you can bring that stem in. Now, this 16 for these bigger leaves works really well. It's a little tight for those leaves in the back, so I'm actually thinking I'm going to switch to a 12. When I did them before, I think I was doing 16, but it was a little bit of a struggle. So I'm going to switch to a 12, and I'll just stand this 16 up for later, okay? A little smaller is going to help me work in some of these tighter areas. So same load coming in here, and we're going to work on some of these leaves that are coming up out of the back side. So we've got the center stem here. All right, so what you want to do is come from the center stem, push down, go out to the edge, and stand up. Okay, now I'm going to come down a little closer so you can see that. So push down, and sometimes you can give it a little bit of an S curve in there, makes it a pretty look, right? And then here, you're going to go right to the tip. Okay? So a little variation in color there makes them look interesting. Now you can come back from the tip here and come to the stem when you get into some of these tighter areas, see? Right in there, and stand it up. All right, so I want you to see that stroke. This stroke, coming from the stem like this, you're touching on the stem, you're going to push down, come out, and stand up. All right, or if you're coming from the outside in, you're going to touch on that outside and come into the center like that. Okay, so either way works. I feel like I get a better look on the outside of my leaf if I come out. But depends on if you've got a good load on your brush and you've got a good chisel edge, and then you just get a little round tip right there. Okay, so just so you can see that leaf in its full, that's what I wanted you to see there. Okay, so let's come back to our colors here. And I'm going to pick up some yellow. All right, so that we can add a little bit of variation in color to some of these leaves. So let's come to this back one here. We want to do the ones in the back first, right there. So we're going to come here and out to the edge, along this stem, out to the edge, and out to the tip. Get a little side load a little bit of that darker green, and let's come back this way. So we can tuck in behind that leaf right there. These are kind of fun to do once you get the hang of the stroke. And now let's address this one here. So this one's another one you want to tuck in. So we're going to start at the tip in this one. We're going to come down and in, curving as you go. Like that. Oops, come right in and tuck that in there. I'm going to get a little more yellow. And you can always move your surface when you need a better angle. Come in and in. There you go. Aren't they pretty? So let's shove that up a little bit. There we go. All right, now I'm going to back up just a little bit. Move that over so I can get my paint here. All right, so let's grab a little more yellow, and we're going to address this one that's coming over. All right, so this one, we want to come from that stem, push it out. Oops, a little dry. All right, coming from the stem and then out to the side. Stem, push, stand up. All right, and I didn't hit that edge, so let's come back. There we go. Now the tricky part here is going to be getting your brush into this odd shape. So all I really did was kind of pushed it down and stood it up, and then came back in and went through there. Okay, so it doesn't have to be perfect. We're going to come and do some shading and fun stuff on top too. So let's work with these colors for now. All right, so here, come along, stand it up. It's important to have those streaks of color for these to look authentic or a little more realistic. There we go. Okay, so we got that one. And now we're going to start working our way forward. So let's come get these colors. And first thing I want to do is let's work on this big one right here. Right, so we have a stem down the center like that. And we're going to push here, push hard. This is a bigger one, or we can go to our 16. I think in this case I want to go to my 16 just so I can get a little bit better coverage. Okay, so let's come back here. We're going to get a little broader stroke. I'm going to grab some yellow on the chisel edge. There. Oops, come all the way to the edge. And then come out to that tip and make it, they're rounded on the tip. They're not pointy. And then let's come back. Stand. And stand up. Okay, now I'm going to switch back to my 12. So I'm two-fisted here. And I want to get some of this darker green on my brush. So I picked up all classic green. And I'm going to come right in here. And we're just going to get these darker under folds of this leaf here. So right in there, under here. And oops, I even need something a little bit smaller even. There we go. Okay, so that's just the back side of that leaf folded over. All right, so sticking with this size brush, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to come to that split right there and stand it up. So keeping that light color against that dark one. A little yellow is going to help in this too. So right in there, stand it up, or you can come from there, might be better, and come back. A little more yellow. Now here, I'm just going to go this way because it's just easier. Okay. Then we're continuing down the stem right to there. And then back. Okay. So you can see it flipped over on itself. Okay. Now I'm going to come back to my 16 and finish the rest of these. So this one here is, you've got to turn, I've got to turn to get a better angle right there, because I want to come, let's come from the tip here and into the stem. Right, so I'm following some of these wavier motions in the leaf, right? We got a bit of a wave there. And then right here, where it disappears, fold it over. Let me grab just a little bit of yellow because I want, that needs to be streaky. There we go. Little streaks of yellow in there. Okay, and then you can come and turn it this way and come back the other way. All right, so from the tip, push, come to the stem, grab a little of the citrus green, push, stem, stem, and there we go. So this one, I actually need a little bit of dark in here. So right in here is where it's folded over, coming towards you, right there. So now we get that better look. It's starting to look really pretty, isn't it? Okay, continuing on then with our colors, we got 2 more to do. So the center one, which is a new growth, I want quite a bit of yellow in there because it's fresh and not darkened by the sun. Right up there, there, and to the tip. So see those yellow streaks? I want to leave those in there. You can pick up just a little of a darker color, and then when you do this other side, it'll leave some interesting streaks on that side. See? So yellow, and then pick up the dark green. Push, and stand up on that outside edge. Now I'm going to come from the tip to finish this. Right in here. So see, you can come in either direction, it's perfectly fine. Okay? All right, so we just have this one last leaf to do here, which is smaller. So I'm going to go back to my 12, and we'll use that to finish the rest of the process here too. Okay, so here, this one has another split. So I'm going to come from this outside edge and stand it up. And then from here, oops, I'm a little pasty there. There we go. And then from the tip, like that. A little bit round on the tip. Okay, then we're going to finish with this other side, which these strokes are going to come on the opposite direction. I'm going to add just a little bit of yellow, and we're going to come right in here first and get that folded over like that. So because of the angle, it's actually curving upwards. Then your next stroke can come down into that split, and then on the other side of the split. There we go. So you could leave it just like that, and that would be your standard banana palm color. But we're going to come in and add some of the burgundy colors in just a minute and make this look even better. All right, so first thing I want to do is with my loaded 12, all right, I'm just going to get fresh paint there. I'm going to come next to my berry wine right here with my darker green color. And I'm going to side load this berry wine. I'm going to add just a touch of medium because my ceiling fan's drying out my paint. All right, so you just work that in a little bit. And we're going to come right underneath. We're going to pull stems down like that and kind of fill in right there. And then on these parts where they've chopped off, if you take the corner of your brush and pull it down, flip the brush over so you've got the burgundy to the out, or the berry wine to the outside, pull it down. Here, come down to the bottom, flip it over, and pull it down. Okay? Now I can come with just a little bit of this berry wine on the corner of my brush and just touch that corner and pull down, touch and pull down. So you get the other side of that cut mark right there. Okay, isn't that starting to look really cool with those colors? All right, now what we're going to do is, before I do the kind of outlining or highlighting, I'm going to come in and show you what you can do with these colors that are already on your brush. So looking at this leaf right here, I can just as easily stroke lightly. You can even put a little bit of medium in your brush, right? And add some of those little darker stripes that show up in those leaves. Okay, so we could come right through here and add just a few. Don't put them through the entire leaf and don't put them on every single leaf. So I'll put some right there, maybe from the tip. We'll put some coming through here. Little pops of color will come right in front of this cut right there, or split. And let's put some back here on this one, and then on this side. And let's put some right there. Okay, so just on a few of the leaves. Doesn't that look pretty? Now I want those to dry a little bit before I come and do the shading. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to wipe off my brush, and we're going to set the ground around this tree. So I'm going to load some medium on my brush and I put out way too much brown, guys. All right, so the colors that are in my brush plus some medium and some real brown, we're going to come right up around this side, that side, and then underneath, a little more medium. Okay, a little bit more brown. And a little bit of the classic green now. It's important when you're doing this that you go straight. These grow on pretty flat ground. Okay. And just get a little bit more brown around the base. Wipe off that brush, and there we go. Okay, so let me clean this brush now. Thank you guys for hanging on with me with this. I think you're going to like what's going to happen next. Okay, so I've got a clean 12 flat. I'm going to load it with floating medium, and then I'm going to side load berry wine. A little more medium. I want a good load so I don't have to keep coming back. Okay, so I've side loaded berry wine on this brush, and we're going to come down here and let's start with this one. So you're going to come along that edge and stand up. Flip it over, go up to the top. So all the leaves on this, and do a little movement, will make them look a little more realistic too. So don't make them too smooth-sided. All the leaves get an outline of this burgundy color, and then you're going to come right up the middle. And actually I found that because these really are a contrasted color to the rest of the leaf, that a script liner loaded with the berry wine works just fine. Okay, so either one of those is perfect. Okay, so then we're going to come along and do this guy back here. Okay. And this is really going to make things pop, especially as you come on these ones that are folded. Right, you don't do the curved edge here, but you're going to come through here and stand up. So you're starting to divide these. They're going to really help them stand out. Okay. I forgot the stem on this. See, if I don't do these stems with strong enough, that's why I felt like the script liner worked better. With strong enough load on the edge, then, oops, they don't stand out as well. So right here is that stem. There we go. Okay, and remember, if you add just a little bit of a wave as you're doing this with the brush, it will add some movement to these edges so they don't look so flat, because they are very ripply. There. And then this one here. Now on the one where it is split, it's a little bit more of a challenge. So you got to come through here, stop, pick it up here, stop, there, and then out to the point. And then you come along the stem, comes along the top, like that. So I hope that this month of demonstrations has kind of introduced you to some plants maybe you didn't know existed, or you did but you didn't know what they were. And if you like to do tropical landscapes or tropical florals with leaves that have color, think about adding some of these to your next design. Okay, this one has the stem that comes from the back and flips over just like that. That one I seem to have lost the stem. There we go. And then we'll finish with these ones in the front. So split, you have to come and stop and then pick it up down here. And then stop again and pick it up here. And then this one, that side, this side, and then underneath. And there we go. All right, now that darkened it quite a bit. And so let's do one thing before this stem is in here, before we do some lightening. Okay, so what we want to do, if you want to lighten up some areas, you can come in with some yellow. So get some medium and grab some daffodil yellow. All right, and you can come from outside the stem and pull some little highlights. See there? Especially right in here, it got really dark. So go Google this image for a tree that looks like this, and you'll see how interesting these look with these colors. And there you go. That is our banana tree palm.